Hello, beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming to you live from Ontario, Canada. Let me know where you're coming in from as well. I'm curious to see where everybody is located and scattered across. Because I know there's few of you that are also in Ontario, which was a very nice surprise, while the rest of you are primarily in the US of A. So as your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach, it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in and build a life, business, or a career that you're not only proud of, but actually excited to wake up to every single day. And you stop your self-sabotage, your procrastination, your avoidance, and you finally live a happy life, and you stop living in a way of I'll be happy when. Because the only when that follows I'll be happy when is when you actually start living your life. Which also starts with knowing what kind of life you want to live. So, on Mondays, to help you do all of those things, and then some, I do card readings. In this Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you're not in this group, come check it out, see if it's a place for you or not. And if not, no hard feelings whatsoever. Keep looking for a place you can call home. So today, this is the card that I have not seen this one before. Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. Whatever it is that you're going through, you might be looking at it through a magnifying glass, and you're magnifying it and you're making it bigger than it actually is. You're making it bigger than it actually needs to be. My favorite question that I ask myself to remind me, and that helps me to feel grounded and be grounded, and I ask that same question of my kids when they're going through things, and the women that I work with as well, literally anyone. If today was your last day, would it matter? Would it matter? The question that I always get is no. So why are you making it such a big and enormous deal when if today was your last day and you died today, then that, what you're dealing with, would not matter? Then the following question is, what would matter instead of that? How would you like that to deal with the situation? How would you deal with it if this was your last day? How would you talk to that person, especially when it comes to the kids? How would you talk to your sibling if today was their last day? Would you talk to them the same way? No. So how would you talk to them? This is how? Okay. Is it something that you can see yourself doing right now? Yes or no? And then go do it. Okay. So let's see what this number 18 holds for us. 18. Eyes of the Eagle. Protection. Inherent trust. Rising above the fray. The eye of the eagle offers you the gift of foresight, the skill of looking ahead to see the unfolding of destiny before it manifests as reality. You have the power of visualization. One of the things I remind women, and it started with reminding myself at first, and then reminding women that I work with, that when it comes to visualization, you're not, it's absolutely okay not seeing the vivid picture in front of you that you want to see. Because not everybody has that gift to see very, very clearly when we close our eyes. But we can feel very clearly when we close our eyes. And the power in the feeling is that is the manifestation itself. That is the creation itself. When you want something, whatever it is that you might want, let's say you want to go and get a puppy. Now, you want a certain fantasy that you have created in your mind of what having that puppy and having that dog would be like. You might have a specific breed in mind, you might have a specific, a personality in mind, but what you want is that fantasy. And that fantasy is the emotion that you're going to feel when you have that dog, what kind of dog it's going to be. In order for you to have that, you gotta leave some space for the universe to do its job, to surprise you, if you will. And this is why when you visualize, and I used to beat myself up, feeling like I was failing, I was doing it wrong, when I would try to visualize having a specific part of my life be in the way that it is. One of them was a specific cottage, and it was just really limiting everything. And so what I started doing is just reminding myself that I have my gifts. I have the things that I'm good at, and there's other things, yes, I can practice, I can evolve, and I can make it better, but do I really want to? Because if you want to see a clear picture when you close your eyes and visualize with a clear picture, it's very possible. It's actually quite simple, but not everybody wants to do that. For me, I'd rather spend my time doing other things, but the way how you do it is you literally look at any picture you want, visualize and see all the details, memorize all the details, now close your eyes and redraw it in your mind's eye. So you see the same picture when you close your eyes, and you keep doing that over and over and over again, and before you know it, you will be a master at visualizing and seeing a picture very clearly. Now, for me, like I said, I'd rather work on other skills, and I'd rather leave a lot for the universe to fill in, because the universe knows better of what I want, what's to be mine, than I do. So when you visualize that dog, that puppy, visualize how you're going to feel, and trusting that the universe will bring you the perfect dog and the perfect puppy that is meant to be for you. And then you work with it. Obviously, if you want to train dog, you can't just, no puppy is born trained. That would mean that there's other opportunities that will come into your life that will allow you to take that dog through training. And that way you will have a perfect dog. And if you want a perfect dog, my favorite phrase is, a tired dog is a good dog. So, that puppy is going to be in need of a lot of exercise. Let's keep going with the reading. The eagle's extraordinary vision allows it to spot the tiny mouse from its lofty perspective as it flies thousands of feet in the atmosphere. In a similar fashion, you too can train your keen eye to discern the workings of humans. This part makes me think of, you can, there was what's today? So on Thursday, I did no, actually I think it might have been Tuesday, I did a video, story time, where I gave one hack, and that was on my personal page, and where I gave one hack of how you can love your partner or your kids or someone more than you already do, shifting. So the point is that you can use the magnifying glass and you can see the negatives in someone, or you can see the positives. You can nitpick anything, literally anything, or you can just let it go. You can take the magnifying glass away and see things for bigger than what it is. Now, also the eagle. Just because the eagle is able to see a tiny little mouse from thousands of feet away does not mean that's all it sees. That is its laser focus. It laser focuses on this one tiny little thing. In humans, we focus on this one tiny little thing that is bad, and we keep replaying it and replaying it and replaying it until it takes our love away from the person, until it affects us personally. But as an eagle, you soaring 1,000 feet above. That's why I refer to this as a bird's eye view. Take a bird's eye view of where you are, of your life and the people in your life. You can see the rodents, if you will, in your life, but you don't have to stare at them. You don't have to focus on them. You can see the vast beauty and the remainder of your life and see other things beyond this thing that you're laser focusing on or zoning in on that chances are is draining you. So fly up higher, see get a different perspective, a more broader perspective, the bird's eye view of your life and where you currently are. And also where you came from, because where you came from, it will remind you and show you just how far you have come. And we all forget to do that once in a while. To pause and breathe and reflect on the past of where we were, who we were, and where we are now and who we are now. How much growth we have gone through. And it was not easy. Looking back might feel like it's easy, but when you were there, you did not think it was easy whatsoever. I know I didn't. I know when I was going through the hardest parts of my life, and I was still doing the bare minimum that I could of working on myself. I really struggled. I did not want to. I didn't believe I could. I still believed that this was it, and I was never going to feel happiness again. I was never going to get better. And little by little, I chipped away at that rock that was around me, and here I am. And I'll continue to chip at it because there's always going to be new opportunities for growth and evolution. Otherwise, we become stagnant, and any stagnant water, it festers and grows a lot of crap. We don't like that. So, Eyes of the Eagle is an invitation to witness the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful, yet react to nothing. Act only to further your noblest calling. Just because you were invited to an argument or someone triggered you does not mean you need to respond. You are allowed to walk away and not ignore. Just because you were invited to a war does not mean you have to say yes. The choice is yours, and sometimes you, like I, like all of us humans, will forget. But how many times do we need to forget something before we actually remember, before it becomes who we are? How many times do you need to forget before you finally remember? You've had many realizations throughout your life over the same thing, over and over and over again. Many realizations. Some of them were identical realizations, while others were a little bit different. But you've had enough where now some of those things that you had forgotten over many times, you finally remember. So when it comes to shifting the focus, as you're flying above and you're seeing your life for what it is, you can focus on the lack, or you can focus on the abundance, because both of them exist. You have lack of things in your life, and you have an abundance of things in your life. What do you have the abundance of? Because you're good at identifying where and what lacks in your life. You're really good at that. We all are. But what about the abundance? The wealth? Where and in what ways are you wealthy in your life? Where is the abundance in your life? Focus on those, and guess what happens? What you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on the abundance will grow. And when it starts growing in one area, it's like a ripple effect. It will ripple into all the other areas of your life. So keep focusing on the abundance. If it's just one area that you can focus and think about the abundance, to focus on that. But when I'm talking about focusing, I'm not talking about just thinking positively and convincing yourself. I'm emotional state where you actually feel the abundance. But if you started from ground zero and right now you don't feel abundance in any area of your life at all, then that's okay as well. Then just find one area that you could start to feel that abundance with or in, and focus on that. This is where, yes, you might have to do a little bit of talking and convincing and expanding and elaborating so you can start to see the abundance, and then you can start to feel the abundance. And then that will multiply. The eagle flies above all creatures. When it meets obstacles, it simply rises above them. Know that you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment, slings, and arrows, and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings and are still arguing with the pigeons over crumbs. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to read that one again for you. Know that you are protected. You can fly high above the judgment slings and arrows and the darts of envy from others who may not have your great wings, your great understanding, and are still arguing with the pigeons over crumbs. When you start to see the bigger picture, when you're growing and you notice yourself outgrowing other people in your life, remind yourself that that is no longer who you are, and that is no longer part of you, and it is not your responsibility to bring these people up, to help people, to do things for people, to educate people. You do you, and some of that will rub off on other people as well. But you're going to be, people are going to try to bring you down to the pigeon level so they can fight over crumbs, over meaningless things in life. They're going to do that. But the reason why they're doing it, it's not because of you, it's because of them. It's because who you are and who you have become, they too wish they could be there, and that's the energy that they would feel. But they can't. They want to bring you down as an excuse and as a reason for them to not work on themselves and not to grow and become a better version of themselves, because they would much rather stay in their comfort zone. But for you, you've been there, you've done that. You no longer want to stay in the comfort zone. So here you are, growing and evolving, and it's absolutely normal, and it's part of the process, part of life, to have people who are pigeons while you are the eagle soaring above it all, and not playing in or getting into all the pettiness of human existence, which is really easy to do. And once you do it, it's like a slippery slope. You just slide right down. Trust that you are ready for whatever fortune has placed before you, even if you feel not yet properly equipped to meet its challenges. You are never going to be ready for the things that you want. You get ready in the process of getting ready. You get ready in the process of acquiring those things. You are never going to be ready. As a mother, you are not ready to have a kid. Even after the kid was born, you're still not ready. You are becoming ready in the process. When you started driving, you weren't ready to drive, but yet you got ready and you started driving. You weren't ready to become a pet owner, a house owner, or whatever owner that you are. And yet, somehow, you became one. Your willingness to say yes to spirit has nothing to do with how well outfitted you are. Hesitating, on the other hand, will suck the air from under your wings and make you lose altitude. Hesitation is a killjoy. This is what I refer to as self-sabotage, avoidance, procrastination. Now, there's another way of looking at procrastination, and I refer to it as procrastinating with purpose or on purpose. And this simply means that massive to-do list that you have, there's something right now that you know that you quote unquote should be doing, but you just can't seem to find the will, the energy, or able to get started. So what you can do is you can look at that massive to-do list that you have and pick something else to do from that list that at one point might have been scary or uncomfortable to do, but now it feels easier because this thing is what's screaming at you the loudest. And that is what procrastinating on purpose or with purpose is you're still going to get things done because the goal is to be in motion. When we're in motion, this is when we feel the most alive. And that's why it's important to find that balance between doing and being. Sometimes we spend too much time being and not enough time doing, and we feel that stagnant energy within us that feels like anxiety, feels like overwhelm, feels like guilt and shame. So that just means do something, a little bit of something that will help you to feel good. And also understand the stories that are coming up for you of why you're feeling that way, why you're feeling like you're not deserving of that rest and relaxation when all you do is work. Hey Rebecca, how are you doing?
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. You said I sound slightly distant today. This is why, because I plugged this in. And it's behind me, but hey, at least now closer to the end, I won't sound slightly distant. I'll sound right in front. Rebecca says, I agree, but when we are in the place of being misunderstood or judged, there is an impulse to do something to be understood. Yes and no. Yes, it's because there's a part of you that feels like you need to defend yourself and speak up for yourself and prove yourself right and let the other person know. That's the fighter in you, by the way, level 2. And prove the other person, like educate the other person so they know you, they hear you, they understand you. But silence is louder, much louder. And it's a lot more powerful. And it's not draining. Unless you replay and, right, there's a right place and there's a wrong place. Right time and the wrong time. And then there's time. Right? So, part of me agrees with you. I understand where you're coming from and what you're saying. But the other part of me is going to say that people are going to judge you regardless. People are going to misunderstand you regardless. You can tell them and you can explain to them who you are and your thinking process and all those things, but they're simply not going to hear. They're not going to understand it because they are just as stubborn as you, as me, as everyone, if not more so. And when we're being told or when we're being educated, when we're being scolded, the wall goes up, nothing goes in, nothing goes through. So instead of having to explain ourselves, the best thing we can do is be silent, be still, and go do you. Go do the things that make you feel good. Others will notice, others will feel, others will see. And the right people will hear you and your silence. The wrong people will not. And this is how you clean house as well. Rebecca says, today is the first day of my job, also my son's first day of senior year. Ooh, a lot of firsts today. Congratulations. And I'm so happy for, I'd love to hear how your first day went afterwards. So you can send me a message and let me know how it was, what's new and exciting, and your son's first day of senior year. That's also fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, August. In the States, the kids go back to school in August, and here in Canada, it's in September. So happy senior year to your son as well. And Rebecca says, also there is a huge giant beetle the size of an egg in my garage. Interesting. Look up what the meaning of the beetle is as well. My kids know that I like to collect these dead bugs, and they call it my insect graveyard. So the flowers and the plants that I have in the kitchen, this is where I bring all those dead bugs and things, and I use them as decorations. Also to honor their life and their beauty, because it's essentially a shell, right? And so they will find some, and then they will bring it to me and say, "Oh, look, I found another one for your for your graveyard." Maybe that's something that you would want to start doing as well. And then some people see them like, "Oh my god, that's scary. Is that alive?" No, it's not. It was at one point, but not anymore. Rebecca says, the wrong people can be the people closest to us too. That's the challenge. Yeah. Life is full of challenges, and we're all meant to overcome our challenges. And at the same time, in overcoming those challenges, that could mean quite a few things when it comes to those people that are the wrong people. Sometimes the people that we think are the wrong people, they're actually the right people. The people that trigger us, the people that annoy us, the people that bring up a lot of things for us. Many people think that those people are the wrong people. I like to think that those people, and learn from my experience as well, that those people are actually the right people. Does not mean I need to spend all my time with them, but they're the right people, because by bringing all these things up, they become the most powerful teachers for me, that are pinpointing the areas where I need more work, more healing. Because before I know it, once I have brought all that up and I work through it all, there's not going to be very much left. And those wrong people can become the most right and best people for us. And another part that comes up is when we notice people that are triggering us and we say that they're the wrong people for us, it could also be coming from a place of, yes, I want to grow, yes, I want to evolve, and I want change, but I don't want it in this way. But that's not how the universe works. You want to grow, you want to evolve, you want to become the best version of yourself. You're not going to go through all these lessons in a nice and smooth and easy way. You're going to have the most powerful teachers, and the most powerful teachers are those that can cause a lot of pain and discomfort. The most painful lessons and the most powerful ones, right? Okay. Let me finish with this one. There's just one tiny little paragraph. You are called now to trust your heart and your instincts, to move fearlessly and not waver. The time is right, and no harm can come your way if your motives are pure and you act courageously. There. And then, so that's done with the reading. And I'll just show the card once again. It's a cute little eagle. Rebecca says, I feel like I have a graveyard with these giant webs in my patio. hey, the spiders are doing their job. And also look at the spiritual meaning behind spiders. That means creativity. That means creation. And to me, creation also means manifestation. So, yeah. I mean, we were away from home for about a week, and we came back and there was spider webs everywhere. Like, they took over in no time. But you know what? They also clean the house. They're almost like guards of the house. No bug shall pass through, right? And then Rebecca says, girl, you're telling me that was probably about the most powerful teachers. Yes, I am telling you, and I'm telling everyone else, and I'm also at the same time reminding myself, because each and every one of us has people in our lives who were like, oh, that's a wrong person for me. I don't want that person in my life. But, you know, I've had questions asked. Why do you keep that person in your life when all they're doing is they're just triggering you, or they're so disrespectful, or they're this or that? For me, the response has been because there's something in it for me, and it's because I'm learning. Now, of course, there are some people that simply will not keep around, and it was like a no-brainer. There's no pause, there's no hesitation. But when there's hesitation, it's there for a reason. And it's also there for a season, because before you know it, either you grow and evolve and you won't need that teacher anymore, or they grow and evolve and they will be your best friend. Your worst enemy can become your best friend. And your best friend can become your worst enemy. You choose. When you're working with people, let's say you have a company and you're starting a company, you do not want to hire your best friends. You want to hire your enemies, because they will do everything they can to prove themselves to you, to show you, and they will work harder than your best friends would. Think about that one for a minute or two. Rebecca says, new moon, what I called in manifested instantly, but not the way I expected it. It was better. That's the best way. When we call something in and we are not super clear about it, we just allow the universe to manifest themselves, we allow the universe to manifest the very things that are meant to be for us, and it always comes out better. And if you do want to be clear with something, you say, I want this, or something even better that's meant to be for me, for the highest and greatest good of all, and with harm to none, right? Because you don't want anything being created or manifested that causes harm to anything or to anyone, because you will get 10 times fold back. And Rebecca says, yep, hence the graveyard. See, you already have the graveyard. You don't need to create one. I like mine in a house where there's not that many spiders. There are, but they're in other places. They're hiding. But outside, there's lots of them. Anyways, that is all for today. Thank you, everybody, for being on here, for listening, for tuning in. Thank you, Rebecca, for interacting with me and letting me into your world and sharing a little bit about your stories and about your graveyard. I appreciate it. And for reminding me that this microphone was behind me and I was whispering. I hope it was still quiet, audible, or audible enough. But otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow for 10 a.m. Eastern Time Sacred Circle, where I will be hosting. And thereafter, at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be going live on my personal page with a story for you all, for story time with myself, Yana Kasperczak. Or I'll see you next Monday for another one of these card readings, where it will be maybe the same deck or maybe a different deck, and usually it's going to be a different card. And even if it's the same card, it's still going to be a different card reading, because different messages come through for you, for me, for us all. What's for you is also for me And then what's for me is also for you, in the same way or similar way, or in different ways. And that is it. That's all. Thank you very much for being on here. And until we see each other next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, ladies.